Hi, my name's Arun and welcome to Schmick Photography Tutorials. Aperture.
Basically, we're talking about one of the ways that we can control how much light comes into the camera. We want to think of it like the lens has an iris. What we're doing is we're increasing the size or decreasing the size. Obviously, when you increase the size, we allow more light to come in, and when we decrease the size, we're allowing less light to come in. The confusing thing here is the bigger the number, the smaller the hole. Okay, so say for example, a aperture of 22 means that we've got a very small hole in the lens, which is letting in a minimal amount of light. Okay. On the other end of it, we have a smaller number, say 1.4. We've got a really big hole in the lens, letting heaps and heaps of light in. So your aperture is displayed on the top display screen here on top of your camera, and we usually use the dial on the back to control it. Okay, so other than letting in a greater or smaller amount of light, what Aperture also allows us to do is play with depth of field, which is what we went through in the last tutorial. Okay, if you have a look at this image again, you can see if we have a smaller aperture, so say 1.4, we have a nice big wide opening in our lens. Okay, and this is creating a very shallow depth of field for us. If we increase the number, let's say we go all the way up to 22, we have a very small opening, and you can see here that this actually gives us a much longer depth of field. So we want to remember two purposes for our aperture. Okay, one is controlling how much light we're letting in, the other one is our depth of field. Okay, for the next tutorial I'll explain shutter speed, and following that we'll go through ISO, and once I've done those two as well, we can look at putting these three elements together and controlling them to our advantage, and creating the effects we want to create and getting the most out of any situation, basically. Yeah, so get the feel of how this affects your depth of field, and how much it changes what light comes in and out of your lenses. But yeah, have a play with that. Have a look at my next tutorial on shutter speed, and then we can get on to start putting these things together. Okay, so like, subscribe, check out my other 3 tutorials, and I'll see you again soon.